The B-1 Battle Droid, flimsy, awkward, dim-witted, and somehow one of the most important soldiers in galactic history. Despite being the punching line of the Clone Wars, the B-1 Battle Droid was the backbone of the Trade Federation and the Separatist Alliance. From the invasion of Naboo to the very last moments of the Clone Wars, these skeletal tan-colored droids shaped the fate of the galaxy through overwhelming numbers, mass production, and their iconic Roger Roger. Today, we're taking a deep dive into every canonical detail about the B-1 Battle Droid, including its design, lifespan, construction materials, programming costs, weapons, and full service timeline. So let's begin. The B-1 Battle Droid was produced by Bactoid Combat Automata and Bactoid Armor Workshop, primarily on the mass droid foundries on Geonosis. Standing at 1.93 meters tall, the B-1 had a lightweight metal frame weighing around 65 kilograms. Its skeletal build was directly intentional, not only for cheap manufacturing, but to also mimic the appearance and proportion of a Geonosian, who originally designed them. Despite their height, the B-1s were not durable. Their thin Dursteel plating made them extremely vulnerable to blaster fire, lightsaber strikes, and especially EMP attacks. A Gungan Buma or a Republic EMP grenade could shut down dozens of B-1s instantly. Their bodies were also designed for efficiency. B-1s can fold themselves into a compact form, allowing entire platoons to be stacked inside multi-troop transports. An MTT could carry around 112 B-1 battle droids at once. Their humanoid shape wasn't just aesthetic, it allowed them to use standard weapons, vehicles, and machinery without modifications. That's why you often see B-1s piloting STAP speeders, driving AAT tanks, and manning starship gun turrets. B-1s were intentionally designed to be simple. Their programming emphasized obedience over intelligence, patience, or even creativity. And that's why they often appeared clumsy or even confused during missions. Originally, the B-1s relied on a centralized control signal. During the invasion of Naboo, the Trade Federation used orbiting droid control ships that broadcast commands to tens of thousands of droids all at once. When Anakin Skywalker destroyed the control ship in Episode 1, every B-1 on Naboo shut down instantly. This weakness forced a redesign. By the time of the Clone Wars, the newer B-1s were equipped with independent droid brains, allowing them to operate without a control signal. They definitely had better autonomy, but their IQs really didn't get any better. Canon describes them as prone to glitches, literal interpretations, strange comments, and overly emotional reactions. These quirks became a big part of their identity in the entirety of the Clone Wars series. The standard B-1 battle droid carried an E5 blaster rifle, a compact mid-range weapon mass-produced for use by battle droids. And of course, depending on the mission, they could be equipped with a variety of different tools, such as thermal detonators, RPS-6 rocket launchers, electro-pulse from crowd control, and radiation cannons in specific cases. B-1s typically wore a backpack with a comlink booster, giving them long-range communications, and some units even used micro-binoculars when acting as a scout and/or sniper. Officer variants, designated OOM command droids, were painted with yellow markings and had slightly more advanced tactical programming. Other variants like pilots or security droids had blue or red markings. The biggest advantage of the B-1 wasn't really its skill, but its price. B-1s were extremely cheap to produce. Their thin armor, simple logic circuits, and reliance on external controls allowed them to be manufactured in enormous numbers. On Geonosis alone, millions of B-1s were stockpiled before the Clone Wars even began. During the war, production ramped up to billions of units spread across thousands of Separatist-affiliated planets. While canon really never gave us an official credit cost, Legends placed the B-1 around 1,800 credits per unit, meaning they were incredibly disposable. That's why the Confederacy's military strategy was truly built on quantity over quality. Even a single clone trooper could destroy thousands of B-1 battle droids, but the Separatists could then print millions more. The B-1's public debut came during the Trade Federation's blockade and occupation of Naboo. Thousands of B-1s marched through Theed, captured civilians, and battled the Gungan Grand Army. 10 years later, at the Battle of Geonosis, the Separatists unleashed well over 1 million B-1 battle droids against a newly formed Republic army. This confrontation started the Clone Wars, and the B-1 became the most single common soldier in the galaxy. They went on to fight in a ton of battles, such as Geonosis, Christophsis, Ryloth, Umbara, Kashyyyk, and of course, dozens more. The B-1s commonly fought alongside the B-2 super battle droids, droidicas, tanks, and massive artillery units. The B-1's role was truly designed to overwhelm the clones with consistent blaster fire. When Palpatine executed Order 66 and transitioned into the Galactic Empire, he issued one final command that all droids must be shut down immediately. This signal effectively ended the B-1's line. Every battle droid across the galaxy powered down at once. The Empire then outlawed independent military droids and ordered the surviving units to be destroyed. Even though the war ended, a few B-1s did survive. The tactical droid Kalani kept a battalion active until just before A New Hope. Various underworld groups reactivated B-1s for security or even entertainment purposes. Raiders, smugglers, and even pirate groups occasionally used them as cheap disposable guards. By the time of the New Republic, the B-1s became a rare oddity, sometimes found as harmless servants or even quirky personal assistants. So, in the end, that's the legacy of the B-1 battle droid. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the B-1's history. If you really enjoyed this type of content, feel free to follow, like, do all those fun things. Until next time, may the Force be with you. And one more thing, Roger, Roger.